Baseball may have taken a back seat this weekend to the Michael Vick story and to the PGA Championship, but there's some interesting races that you need to pay attention to. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz, CBSSports.com writer Larry Dobrow. Glad to be with you here on Power Rankings the week of August 17th. And Larry, let's start with your top five. Tell me what people need to know about who's in your top five and how it's different from maybe a week ago.
Well, the first team is still the Yankees. The Yankees right now are pretty much a steamroller. Even Joe Girardi all of a sudden is getting some credit of maybe having some idea what he's doing. Unlike what he did with the Marlins, he's not destroying the bullpen. He's resting the guys that need the rest. You have a nice, comfortable lead right now. Beyond that, the Angels are playing terrific baseball. So we kind of did a little do-si-do with them and the Dodgers. They're the best team in LA. They hit. The pitching's coming around a little bit. John Lackey's starting to look like John Lackey again. The Dodgers, it's a Joe Torre team. Yeah, they get tired when August comes simply because, you've been running, Ramon Troncoso out there.
Yeah.
He's been throwing like 137 innings, like 2 at a time for the whole season. But outside of that, everybody's kind of bunched after those top three. You got to give the Phillies credit. They started playing, pretty well again after a little bit of a lull. The pitching seems to have stabilized. J.A. Happ is, I think a legitimate major league pitcher at this point. It took a little while for all of us to believe that, but he is. Then you have the Rangers. I mean, what can you say? They had one of the worst losses of any season on Friday night. The horrible collapse in the ninth inning against the Red Sox. Come back, win 2 out of 3. I mean, it's a team that's pretty tough.
Yeah, and that's the team I want to talk about because we hit on them a little bit last week, but as we're sitting here on Monday, they have the lead in the wild card, and that's going to flip-flop back and forth between them and the Red Sox. But Ian Kinsler came back from the DL and was 4 of 6 this weekend, a couple of home runs, 3 RBI. What does he do to that lineup? Because we've been talking about the pitching and how good that's been, but you get one of the best bats back as well.
Well, I mean, you get one of the best bats, sure. But I think with Ian Kinsler, he had this remarkable April. In April, he was pretty much the best hitter in baseball. I mean, you could make that argument, even better than Albert Pujols. Since then, he'd been kind of weak. He had a couple small injuries dogging him and everything else. Comes back. If he's anywhere close to full strength, obviously, he's going to deepen the lineup a little bit. Where I think he makes the most difference, to be perfectly honest, is defense. All of a sudden, the Rangers are a team that can catch the ball. It's kind of an evolution, the way you saw the Tampa Bay Rays last year started catching the ball and good things followed. If you're a Ranger pitcher who pitches to contact, you got to feel pretty good that if you put the ball in play, you've got one of the best middle infields defensively right behind you.
Yeah, and the question for them is, can they catch the Angels? Maybe, maybe not, but can they hold off the Red Sox? When you look at the AL wild card, Larry, what in your mind separates them from Boston, from Tampa Bay?
Well, Tampa Bay, I think we've been talking about every week. They're the most talented team, and they're also the team that certain games they just don't bother to show up. The Red Sox, they're looking kind of old. I mean, right now, there's the whole big debate up in Boston, like should we bench Poppy? Should we, play him more often? When's this guy going to get his swing back? I mean, at this point, you got to think about cutting David Ortiz. When he's in the lineup, the Red Sox are an appreciably worse team. They got a guy that can't move, can't play defense.
I don't think they're going to go that far.
And doesn't have any power.
It's not going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen, but it should.
All right, well, it'll be very interesting to see what the Rangers do here in the next 2 weeks, because they got 4 against Minnesota starting tonight. Then they're at Tampa Bay, at the Yankees, and at Minnesota.
Killer road trip
as well. So that's a big road trip there for the Rangers. Let's talk about the NL wild card real quickly. And you look there, I want to disagree with you on one thing in that you've got the Phillies up there, but it's the Cardinals that have a better record than the Phillies right now. And since the trade for Matt Holliday, how are they not in your top 5 because of what they are right now?
Well, what they are right now is a very good team. That said, you look at their rotation behind Carpenter and Wainwright, it's not a whole lot there. A lot of it is Tony La Russa, admittedly still one of the best managers in the game, kind of juggling, kind of mixing and matching and coming up with the best result. They've gotten much more out of Julio Lugo than anybody could have thought. Matt Holliday became Matt Holliday again mysteriously when he left Oakland. I mean, listen, they're a terrific team. Am I willing to pronounce them better than the Phillies just yet? Probably not. Give it another couple weeks.
All right, we're going to find out. I think you're putting too much stake in what the Phillies did last week, but that's just me. Check out the entire list of power rankings as well here on CBSSports.com. See where everybody's listed, and I promise you, you're not going to like if you're a fan of the teams in the AL Central where they are, because we both agree it's mediocre baseball. For Larry Dobrow, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.